All right. Good morning. Welcome to my stream. Thought I'd have a little different intro this time, um, just for fun. Right. So this is normally I stream for about an hour to two, but this is going to be a very short stream as I am going to have to do stuff this weekend. I don't normally stream weekends, so we're going to figure out day 3, and then we're going to call it a stream. It's going to be all very fast, unfortunately. But I did want to get it done. Let's see. Let me hit refresh so we can see the time here. Yeah, 16:24. Okay. And then let's dive in. Read the problem first or create the workspace first? Well, let's read the problem first. 2022 day 3 Rucksack Reorganization. One elf has the important job of loading all the rucksacks with supplies for the jungle journey. Unfortunately, that elf didn't quite follow the packing instructions, and so a few items now need to be rearranged. Each rucksack has 2 large compartments. All the items of a given type are meant to go in exactly one of the 2 compartments. The elf that did the packing failed to follow this rule for exactly 1 item per rucksack. That's very consistent. The elves had made a list of all the items currently in each rucksack, your puzzle input, but they need your help finding the errors. Every item type is identified by a single lowercase or uppercase letter. A and A refer to different types of items. Okay. List of items for each rucksack is given as characters all on a single line. A given rucksack always has the same number of items in each of its 2 compartments, so the first half of the characters represent items in the first compartment, while the second half of the characters represents items in the second compartment. Okay. For example, suppose you have the following list of items, blah, blah, blah. So this gets split into V through R. Okay, so that should be simple enough using just using slices, right? Let me just set this up over here. There we go. Cowface Dude, hello. Cowface Dude says, today's one was easier than yesterday for me. Oh, that's unusual. Usually he makes the weekend ones a little bit harder because people have a little more time in general. Different people have different requirements, but that's okay. So I'm surprised to hear it's easier, but let's see. Maybe this will be a very, very short stream. Let's get our input. Git add input. Let's take a look at it first. It's 300 lines. Yep. So that looks like a bunch of random garbage that we have to work our way through. Git commit -m 2022 day 3 input. All right, so what are we doing? The first half of the characters represents items in the first compartment, and the second half of the characters represents items in the second compartment. Okay, right. So we're splitting it into 2. And then what do we have to do? First rucksack contains this, which means the first compartment contains that, second compartment contains that. The only item type that appears in both compartments is lowercase p. Oh, okay. So we just have to find which letter is in common between the first half and the second half. Okay. The second rucksack's compartments contain this. And you can have repeats. So you can't just look for the first repeat. So it looks like you can have, like, this one has WW. So I can't just say insert into a hash set until we hit a repeat. We got to hit insert into a hash set, and then for the first half, and then insert on the second one until we hit a dupe. Or we just create hash sets out of each one and do an intersection on them, right? Because I think hash set has intersection. Hash set intersection. And it generates an intersection type, so you have to collect it into a new hash set. All right. We can do that. And then there should be one item in there, and then that should be easy to find out, right? To help prioritize item rearrangement, every item type can be converted into a priority. Lowercase a through z are 1 to 26. Uppercase a through z is 27 through 52. All right. So then if we add up all the letters, the sum is 157. I think I get it. Find the item type that appears in both compartments of each rucksack. What is the sum of the priorities of those item types? Cafe's dude said, I didn't think of hashsets. It would have gone a little faster if I thought of hashsets. Yeah, my brain automatically goes to hashing algorithms when we're dealing with advent of code stuff. So I think the hash set is my hammer, right? All you have is a hammer. Everything looks like a nail. So the hash set's my hammer, or a hash map. So I try to solve everything with hash maps. Day 03. Day 30? Okay. So this should fail. Oh, I got to get bacon running. Let's create the module. Let's go to the module. And let's do 2022 day 03. And we should get unsolved for both. Oh, unless I have... Yeah. Let's delete those. And that way bacon will know what to run. I hit run. Did I mess something up in my mod? No? This looks all right. Oh, I just didn't save it. Okay. Computing. There we go. Now we got 2 unsolveds. Perfect. All right, so the parsing is going to be straightforward, right? All we do is grab the lines. You know what we could do is split them at that point. We could just say lines is, wow, lines. There we go. Vec string. We could split them into parse. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let self lines is equal to, sorry, AOC lib read lines input 2022-03 text. Okay, and let's see how many lines we got. How many were there? 300 lines. It says 300 insertions. So we should see 300. Self lines len. And that way we know we read in all the... There it is. Perfect. All right, so now we got to loop over all the lines for line in lines. And we split it into 2 halves. We can say let left right is equal to line. Line is a string. Can we grab a slice 0 dot dot? Actually, let len is equal to line len divided by 2. So we get the first half, and we can get the second half like that, I think. Let's just dump those and see what they look like left and right. There we go. And that fails. Oh, so you can't do it this way? What is the exact error here? Like that equals, there we go. Oh, we need, got it. They have to be references. Okay, so we can still do this. We just need to reference it. Like that. Oh, right, and we need create output something. All right, so yeah. So now it's split to 2 halves. Left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. Okay. So what we can do now is pull in hash set. And I think you could do like a from iter or from, where is it? There's a from somewhere. Rust hash set from iter. I think so. We could just yeah, it looks like I looked at this before. Yeah, from iter vec iter. Okay, so you can just create it from an iterator. I wonder where that comes from if it's not directly on hash set. I don't see it here. So it must be something that hash set implements from iterator. There it is. So we could say iter.collect into, oh, this is to a vector. Oh, this is into iterator. I want from iterator. Oh, they don't have an example. All right. And that's in the from iterator. Okay, so they don't have an example, but we could just do it. So we can say let left is equal to hash set from iter left chars. Will that work? It's a char unknown. What happens if I try to build that? I just need a type. Hash set char. Expected struct hash set found struct chars. Oh, I have to do it this way. Hash set char. Yeah, and then we can do the same thing for the right. Yeah. Okay, and now all we need to do is intersect them. So we can say let dupe is equal to left dot intersection, and that returns an intersection, which we have to collect. Okay. Section right, and can I just do this hash set char? Not quite. Oh, collect. Still not quite. Oh, ampersand char. That's fine. All right. We can have references. Right, and now dupe should have a single item. And it should be the character we care about. Let ch is equal to dupe dot iter dot next dot unwrap. It's an ampersand char. I can deref it that way, and I can deref it that way. And I could say match char. If it's a to lowercase z, then it's going to be ch as u8 minus the a. Wait, is it 0 to, it's 1 to 26. Okay, so we got to add 1. And then capital A to capital Z is ch as u8. Smab UK, hello. Handelfa says, hi, where do you play Rust? I'm not playing Rust the game. I'm using Rust the language to implement solutions for Advent of Code. So if you came here for a Rust game, apologies. So we're going to subtract A, and then that starts at 27. Okay. And then anything else is just a bad input, which never happens because input in AOC is always well-formed. Panic, bad input. Oh, right, we're trying to sum these up, right? What's the sum? Okay, so let's, at the top here, we'll say let mut sum equals 0. And then what we can do here is say sum plus equals, but this is not, that's going to return a U8 because everything here is U8, so we have to just say as I32, and the output is just the sum. Smab UK says, I succeeded today. Got some sleep into AOC late. Oh, good. That means you beat me to it. 7980. Let's take a look at that. That's the right answer. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Is there anything Clippy wants to tell me to do better? Nope, Clippy's happy. Let's consider this part 1 then. Git status, git add source, git commit. 2022, day 3, part 1. Hendefa says, why do you subtract byte from char? Char is 4 bytes in Rust. You subtract 1 byte from it. Okay, that's a good question. What I'm actually doing is I'm converting the char to a U8 because I'm assuming that it's going to be an ASCII character. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the input file doesn't have any Unicode characters in it and it just has these letters that he promised as part of the input. Right, so these are all ASCII characters. It's red because it's doing spell check, unfortunately. So the fact that they're ASCII means we can easily do this conversion to U8 because everything will fit in 1 byte. I then subtract the byte representing the A, and then I add 1 for the 1 that we need. And then I set it to I32 because this is an I32 here. Does that make sense? Hendefa says it isn't a safe solution. You're absolutely correct. I agree with you 100%. However, the input files for Advent code are always well formed and always have valid data. And so you don't have to do error checking on your input. He's not trying to see how well you can parse input and how well you can handle errors. He's trying to say, here's a puzzle, solve the puzzle. I'm going to make sure your input's good. But you're absolutely right. If I were to do this for real, I would be doing all sorts of error checking and returning results and stuff like that. Smab says, considering I use C#, the solution I used overlaps a lot with yours. Oh, thank you, Hendefa, for the follow. Much appreciated. Hendefa also says, Smab says that C# is very similar. Yeah, not surprising, right? I mean, these higher level languages all have the stuff built in. If I were doing this in C, instead of C++ or C#, I wouldn't have access to these things. I'd have to write my own code to do all of that. But yeah, I would be surprised if Python didn't have a similar kind of a solution for this. I'm trying to pronounce your name, Nachikit Live. It says it's about getting the answer correct quickly. Yeah, I mean, for some people it is, right? I mean, there's the speedrunners who do it in, less than a minute or whatever. I tend to just take my time and enjoy the puzzle and enjoy coming up with a nice solution. So it depends on what you're looking for. But he's really looking to see, can you solve the puzzle rather than can you parse invalid input? All right, let's see what part 2 is. Smab says, I didn't bother to use hashsets. Seemed overkill for my approach. Okay. Well, I mean, I just reached for that because I was telling somebody else in chat, Cowface dude, that's my hammer, is the hashing algorithms, whether it's hashset or hash map. That's what I tend to throw at it. So part 2. Ooh, this is a long part 2. Okay. As you finish identifying the misplaced items, the elves come to you with another issue. For safety, the elves are divided into groups of 3. Okay, every elf carries a badge that identifies their group. For urgency within each group, 3 elves. Badge is only item type carried by all 3 elves. Okay. That is, if the group's badge is item type B, then all 3 elves will have their item type B somewhere in the rucksack. And most 2 of the elves will be carrying any other item type. All right. The problem is that someone forgot to put this year's updated authenticity sticker on the badges. Oh, that's interesting. So at most 2 of the elves will be carrying any other item type. Does that mean if we find a B, it's only going to be 3 capital Bs anywhere in the file? That's an interesting... I wonder if that would make it optimized. We could just look for all those. Because right now I'm just thinking, well, we'll chunk it at 3. Problem is that someone forgot to put this year's updated authenticity sticker on the badges. All the badges need to be pulled out of the rucksacks so the new authenticity stickers can be attached. Authenticity, it's hard to say. Additionally, nobody wrote down which item type corresponds to each group's badges. The only way to tell which item type is the right one is by finding the one item type that's common between all 3 elves in each group. Every set of 3 lines in your list corresponds to a single group. Yeah, that's what I was guessing was going to happen when I read that. So in the above example, the first group's rucksacks are the first 3 lines. Got it. Yeah. So chunking is, I think, the right approach here. So we can say for line in self-lines chunk. I always get this wrong. Let me do this just for now and see if this even builds. Can I do chunks 3 like that? Ooh, yeah, it doesn't like that. Can I do iter chunks? No. So I can't do those. Okay. So I see that there's chat, but I don't have answers for anything in chat. So I'm going to just try to carry on. What's the right approach for this? How do we get, if self-lines is just a vec of string, can't you chunk that? Can I do self-lines chunks like this? Yes, okay. So putting the ampersand at the beginning was causing a problem. I do this by default. You saw I did it up here. It's just something I do. But if you do that, then you can't do it. You can't do the chunking. But if we do that, hopefully that doesn't consume lines. Okay, so that's an interesting thing I just learned. And now we basically do something similar. Lines, this is no longer lines. This is line groups. So we'll call it lines. It's a slice of strings. So I should be able to generate a bunch of hash sets from that. Lines, iter, map, L. And then we can just use the same code from here. Hash set from iter. And then we can just give it L, and we have to give it an iterator, so L chars, right? And then collect. Collect into a hash set of char. Now we're going off the screen. That's fine. I did something wrong. I missed a close bracket here. There we go. So does that build? It doesn't. What is this saying? Valid hashset char cannot be built from. Why not? Oh, I want a vec. That's right. I want a vec. I want a vec of hash sets. And then what we'll do is we'll just intersect them all. Yeah. So we can just say, and there's 3 at a time, but we can make this generic by saying let our duplicate is going to be the first set sets.pop dot. Oh, if we pop, we have to make this mutable. Okay. Dot unwrap, and this should be a hash set now. And then we should be able to intersect with the remaining hash sets, right? For set in sets, dupe is equal to set dot intersection of the dupe with dupe collect hash set. Oh, I shouldn't have to specify that, right? Because dupe is already a hash set. Right? Hash set char. And now we should just have one item left. I didn't actually check to see if there's one item left here. But we should be able to say dupe pop. Let ch is equal to, well, we can iterate dupe, iter, next, unwrap. Right? And then ch is a star char. And now it's a real char. And then we can just grab this code and plop it down there. Right? Is that what we need to do? Can I send you a link to this task? Sure. It's just advent of code. Assuming you're talking to me. I don't know if you're talking to me because I see there's a conversation going on there, but that's the task right there. Yeah, let's see. Does this build? Not really. Value of hashset cannot be built from... Oh. And I can't just say collect into a vector of... And I can't do that here, right? Yeah, it won't let me do that. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, the obvious thing to do is, does copied work? Copied. It does. Okay. If you want, Nachi Get Live, if you want to paste your a link to your solution, I'll throw it up on the screen. We can take a look. 2881. But unfortunately, because this is a weekend, I need to. I can't stream for too much longer. Oh, that's the right answer. Good. I wasn't expecting anything else. And Clippy's good. Git status. Git add source. Git commit -m 2022 day 3 part 2. Okay, let's copy this link and take a look at what we got. Paste and go. Boom. Ah, there we go. Okay, get char score. You know what you could do here? Actually, let's try that right now. Do I have an NVIM? I don't. 2203. What you could do, and I don't know if you want to be this clever, is to make this a trait on ch and now on char. And now I want to do that. All right, what do we have here? So you're creating, oh, is this for indexing into? You have chars. Oh, I see. I see. So you're just looking for anything that contains, each half contains both. Each half contains the character. And if they both contain the character, then you add that. That makes sense. Yep, I like that. And then, okay, you generate this again. And now, okay, now you're just chunking it into 3. So I did the chunks 3, right? But then you're mapping that into a tuple, right? And then destructuring the tuple. Okay. And then you're checking to see if each one contains that character. All right. I like that solution. There might be some savings you could do here by treating this as a vector instead of a tuple. And then you could just say sub 0, sub 1, sub 2 here. But I mean, this works. And I like the fact that you wrote test cases. I always fail to write test cases because I forgot when I was setting up my runner. This is a little thing I wrote to provide an easier way to write tests. But now I'm curious about SMAB's C#. Okay, yeah. So you split it the same way we do in Rust, right? Generating the slices for each half. Okay, so you loop over each one, and then you see is it in the other one? Yep. So that's similar to the way Not Get Live did it. Yeah. Kafka says 8 tabs inputs are giving him a heartburn there. 8 character tabs, sorry. Yeah, and then you just grab each group. Okay, so yeah, this is like very, very straightforward. I like it. Obviously, I did this, but now I'm curious. Let's say pub trait priority. Got to spell it right. Priority. Self returns an I32, and we can say implement priority for char. Fn priority self I32, and we just grab this code. We can do that and do that. Oh, this is going to complain, isn't it? You have to do this, otherwise it'll complain. And then all we have to do is say sum match ch.priority. What do you think of this? And it should come up with the same answers. Of course it didn't, because this has to be self. As does this, as does this. Oh, and I have to start. Yep, there you go. Smab says it's tabs, so you can set your preference. Is that true? Where can I set my preference for tabs? Yeah, the problem is that, you know, if you do tabs and then somebody, like if you do like a half indent of spaces, then things don't line up anymore. So so this is one way you can avoid, I mean, looking back here, right, we have this function hanging out, but you can do it, you can implement it on ch, so you can, on a character, so you can just say ch.priority, and that actually allows us to do sum plus equals this. I can't spell priority for some reason, or it's hard for me to type. And the same thing here. There. And the fact that it takes a reference, will this work? I just want to look. It does. Okay, so I can avoid having that extra. I wonder if you can take off both. You can. Nice. So that cleans that up. That's very nice. I like that. Thank you, Nachiket Live, for that idea. All right, I think that's it. I don't know if there's any easier way to do this because we're resetting the dupe. Maybe fold. Would fold work on this? Let dupe is equal to sets dot iter dot fold hash set new ab. What's a? It's the hash set char. And then this is just a dot intersection with b. I don't know. Dot copied dot collect. Will that work? I don't know if that'll work. What is this going to say? It does say hash set char, so it did something. No, it doesn't work. Nachikit says you can fold the maps before collecting. Oh, these. That's true. Well, let's see if it works. Fold. Hash set. And then we collect into a single hash set then, right? New. AB. Does say hash set unknown. Okay. Let's try this then. And then collect into a hash set. Does that work? And now dupe doesn't work. Not found in the scope. Oh, because now this is the This is the dupe. Oh, copied like that. Collect. Yeah, you can't collect directly into a hash set. What are we collecting here then? What is this resulting in? Vec hash set. Char still. But there's only one. Oh, it is a hash set directly. Option unwrap called on none value line 65. That's saying there's nothing in there. Oh, Kafka says you have to initialize the hash set to contain all the chars first. That's true. Because if you intersect it with an empty set, you can obviously get an empty set. Duh. From iter. A dot dot equals z. Can I do that? Dot iter dot chain a dot dot equals z dot iter. Oh. Wow. Oh, I got an unclosed delimiter. Oh, I forgot there's an extra chain in there. Okay. Does that work? No. So you can't iterate on a... Oh, I have to make the range. Yeah, I figured you could iterate on a range, right? That's what ranges are for. Nope, you can't iterate on a range. What do you do? Maybe I can just chain it directly? And then Kafka says remove the last iter. And A now is no longer a hash set of char. Consider giving this closure parameter an explicit type. Oh, maybe I have to tell the hash set what it is. I forget what the syntax is though. Oh, there you go. Yeah, look at that. Into iter. Where would we want to into iter? Because I'm guessing that we're creating something that we're throwing away. We don't need to throw away. And the other thing is what we can do is just create a base one. Let all chars equals this. Yeah, and then we can say here, instead of this, we say all chars clone. There we go. It implements iterator directly. Copied can be avoided by making a mutable. Oh, if I do this, you think if I say mute A, I can get rid of the copied? Yeah, it doesn't like that. Yeah, because these are all references, right? If I say mute A this way, it doesn't mind it. Oh, but it complains. All right, now there was one other warning. Oh, extra parentheses. Okay. There we go. That's clean. Draynard says, in my solution, I use cloned instead of copied. What's the difference under the hood? That's a good question. I don't know. Kafka says cloned uses clone. And copied just copies the value. And it's just a char, so a copy works. Rust copied versus cloned. I know what the difference is between copy and clone. So maybe that's just what the difference here is. Or either make a copy of it or we call clone on it. So it's faster, although you could see this took 12 milliseconds. So speed is not an issue with this. All right. So this is a little smaller. And then I bet you we could, instead of this for loop, we could make this a map. Self-lines chunks map, blah, blah, blah. But there's just so much work you want to do, and I am out of time, unfortunately. I have to get going. So a very short stream, less than an hour. It's unusual for me, but status git add source git commit some fun tweaks for 2022 day 2 3. Kafka says if speed was an issue, we would use usize instead of hashset char. Right, because then it would be the native size of the CPU word instead of forcing it to be a 32 bits. All right, so that's day 3. Let's take a look at the Advent calendar. Let's see what we're looking like here. Yeah, so maybe this is the beach we were on yesterday. What did they say? Where were we? We're just unloading rucksacks. So I guess we're still on the beach. It looks like maybe we're going to make our way up a river here, which would be pretty cool. All right, so that was real quick. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to stream till the afternoon, unfortunately, but that's how it goes. Here we go. Day 3. Thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. It was short, but I hope you had a good time. I had a great time, and I will see you in the next stream. Thank you. Thank you very much for the follow, Draynard. Much appreciated. And I wish you all a pleasant weekend. Take care.